Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody's getting ready to get up, get out, make some things happen, man. Do some type of activity this morning, man. Get your bones moving and grooving this morning. Listen, we got a couple of things we want to talk about this morning. Listen, this time next week, USC football players should be in the hotel getting ready to get it on and popping, get ready to get it on and cracking. Listen, it's almost go time. It is officially, listen, the wait is about to be over. These guys should be in the hotel getting ready to prep, get ready to hit the field later on in the daytime, this time next week, to get ready for some pregame stuff, man. Just kind of doing some player walkthrough stuff, man. It's almost here, man. It'll be the final week of prepping for Rice. And, man, listen, we hope that stadium is going to be jam-packed. Every USC fans that see this, get the word out. Make sure that stadium is packed. And we want to continue that trend all this season, man. So you guys hit me in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Now, we got to get to this. Malachi Nelson officially shut up all the haters that has been hating, all the haters that suggest. And see, it's been a strategic move. Like, you see all these sports outlets, these major networks, they continue to put, they were putting up the Texas A&M uniform with Malachi Nelson. For those of you who don't know, Malachi Nelson is he's the #1 quarterback. I know ESPN bumped him up to that. Some sites still have Arch Manning, but Malachi Nelson is the #1 quarterback committed to the University of Southern California. He's our big prize commit. He's one of the best players. He is the best player in the country, overall player. And but all of these major networks have been posting videos of Malachi, pictures of Malachi, Texas A&M cowboy hat. They've been posting different pictures, and they continue to do it. And they continue to say things like the momentum is picking up. And it's like and I've always told you guys that seeing is believing. When someone sees something, they're going to suggest and believe that's actually what it is. And so they would continue to do this, and it was making USC fans absolutely just frustrated. And then even then, when we did have more confirmation that he was coming, and I will post things up, I will still have a continual, in my comment section, a continual asking of questions. Is Malachi still, is he a lock? Is he a lock? Well, Malachi, he shut all that down. He was on a podcast, and he said something specific to that situation. He said this. I want to read his own words. Malachi said this. He was on the UC podcast, and he says this. He says, when asked about USC, he says, I'm committed to USC, and that's where my head is right now. He says, I'm focused on building the class and winning some games. Listen, Malachi is putting all of the haters to rest. This is what I want you guys to understand. If you never been recruited, you guys got to understand this. And Malachi really hadn't capitalized on this like he could have capitalized. As a recruit, you get 5 recruiting trips. You get 5 recruiting trips, and just think about this. If you're an inner city guy, you're a kid that's never been a whole lot of places. Just say, I remember I was getting recruited by Hawaii. I was getting recruited by. If you never been to like Hawaii, if you never been to a kid from down south, you never been to California, or you never been just anywhere, man. You get to experience different places, and he went to Texas A&M. From my understanding, he's only done 1. He could really capitalize and do 4. I think it looks like Mateo. He's getting around pretty good. It looked like he went to Ohio State, of course, USC. I'm not sure where else he plans to go, but these kids, they want to take their recruiting trips, and being our quarterback, the way the way the NIL is now, the offering of money, it's a kind of a scary situation. We don't want our kids to get lost in the sauce when they go other places, and that's the scary thing about it. Now, I will say that we never had that presented to us. When you go on these recruiting trips, that was nothing that we had to ever be concerned about. Now, when these guys go on trips, they can just show them the bag and say, look, you come here, we're going to give you this much money. So that makes a big difference. But Malachi, he put all that stuff to rest, And so we now got confirmation and security. Look, USC fans, does this make you feel a little more comfortable? Do you feel a little more secure in this situation? You guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. Malachi says he's not focused on anything else. His head is on USC. I'm fully committed to USC, and I'm looking to build this class, man. So you guys hit me about that. Hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. USCJ32 on Instagram. USCJ32 on Twitter. Now, I got to get to this. Joe Clyde on Fox Sports. This guy, you know, he made an incredible statement. He made an accurate statement. He made a statement that I've always kind of tried to sound the alarm on this particular thing as it relates to the SEC and their scheduling. They schedule a bunch of cupcakes, and a lot of people, they don't really talk about it. Not only do they schedule a bunch of cupcakes, if you ever notice, the reason that the SEC has had so much success as it relates to the playoffs opposed to most conferences, because this is what I want you guys to understand. When they do the AP Top 25 or when they do the coaches poll, all those things hold weight. And so it boosts up the strength of schedule. So, like, for example, if you have a Tennessee team that's ranked up there, if you have an Auburn team that, you know, both of those teams, I believe they lost in their bowl games last year, if I'm not mistaken. I know Auburn did, and I think Tennessee did as well. But they always rank these teams up high. So when they play at Alabama, when they play at Georgia, when they get to these teams are ranked to a point they hadn't dropped yet. So it boosts up their strength of schedule. So when it boosts up their strength of schedule, then those teams will rise up in the poll. And so you see a SEC team that's always, Texas A&M was a prime example of that. They always ranked high. And, you know, and I've told you guys before, they went to a Colorado and just got, and almost lost that game last year. It was 10-7, but they rank them so high. And I think they were in the top 10 when they were, that would have been an upset of the year. They were in the top 10 when they went to Colorado and played Colorado. But the Pac-12 never schedules the same way as the SEC teams. And so not only do the AP and the coaches poll, who's predominantly, it's going to be the southern region, those guys that vote and do all that, do they put these teams up high? Then the SEC turns around and they say, oh, we beat up against each other. Well, that's not true, because I'm going to give you guys a schedule here. You guys can see it for yourself. You guys play cupcake teams, and you guys play like at least 3 of them throughout the year, and you guys get away with that. And you say, oh, we beat up against each other. That is not a fact. USCJ's on the case. USCJ is putting this situation under investigation. Now, Joe Clyde, Fox Sports contributor, analyst, he says that, he makes this statement. He says, a big reason, I totally agree with him. He says a big reason the Pac-12 has struggled, this is an absolute fact, struggled to get any team into the CFP is they don't schedule for success. And you guys know this. Let me say this. USC, I've told you, has never scheduled one of those FCS teams, one of those Division I AA teams. They've never scheduled one. They almost scheduled one time. That was UC Davis, but they canceled that game. But USC is the only school in the country. You guys remember I brought that story to you. The only school in the whole country that has never scheduled one of those Division I AA schools. They always play somebody, a Division I school. And so so this is his statement. This is Joe Clyde's statement. He says to get into the CFP. Because they don't schedule for success. He says Utah has 6 true road games this year. You guys know they go to Florida this year, and then I think they go to BYU, and then I think they may go to Oregon. But they have some true road games. The SEC, you never see that. You will never see an Alabama or a Georgia come to the West Coast. You won't see it. They will not do it. It always has to be either on a neutral site, which if you see Alabama, they play in the Dallas Classic, or LSU playing that game right there is a neutral site game, and it's close to Alabama. Dallas is not that far from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, compared to California. And so you got to look at all these different aspects. Now, when it did happen, when LSU came to UCLA last year, you see what happened. The same thing when Texas A&M came to UCLA when they had Josh Rosen. You see what happened. They lost those games. And so even looking at, and he says this as well. He says Oregon going to Georgia. It's supposed to be, they're not playing at Athens, Georgia. They're playing at the, I think the Dome or whatever in Georgia. But it's still in Georgia. And so you will never see these teams come to the West Coast and actually play. And he's confirming that. He said the only SEC team that has a real road test is Vanderbilt. So they put the sorriest team in the conference, put them out there to get slaughtered. Basically to get slaughtered. You guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. Is this the real reason why the SEC? I told you this thing was rigged. I believe the CFP is rigged. And specifically for this reason, Joe Klein, he really confirms what I've been kind of preaching for forever. He confirmed that the CFP is rigged based on the SEC schedule. I'm going to give you one prime example, and I'm out of here. This is Ole Miss football right here. Let's look at this schedule this year. Ole Miss football. First game is against Troy. Troy in Alabama. September 3rd. Then they play against Central Arkansas. So you got Troy. Then you got Central Arkansas. No SEC teams. Oh, but we beat up against each other. Then they play against Georgia Tech. That's not an SEC team. That's a down ACC team for years now. Then they play against Tulsa, which is in, I think, Conference USA. So how in the world do you open up with 4 cupcakes in a row like this? And you're supposed to be an SEC school and you beat up against each other. I'm just giving you guys an example. So you open up with Troy. That's 1. Central Arkansas, 2. Georgia Tech, 3. And then Tulsa, 4. But you guys beat up on each other. No real road test. And then they got Kentucky, which is SEC, Mississippi State, Auburn, Mississippi, LSU, Texas A&M, and then Alabama, Arkansas, and then Mississippi State. Listen, man, USCJ put this under investigation. This is a fraud type situation. The SEC, I can go to any of them. I'm just going to pick one randomly, and you will see this for yourself. Let me go to LSU. Let's go to LSU schedule. This situation is crazy. Okay, check this out. They play Florida State, open up. They've been down. You know, that coach is on the hot seat. And so then they play Southern, which is an HBCU. They play Southern, which is a 1AA. That's one of those schools I was talking about. Then they play Mississippi State. Then they play New Mexico. You see, they have multiple teams like this on their schedule. Then they play Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, and then Ole Miss, Arkansas, Alabama. And then they play UAB. They got another one. They got 3 of them on there. 3 of them. How do they get away? And then they play Texas A&M. How do they get away with this? Joe Klein has got it right. Man, listen. USC is back in business. We putting all that. We gotta schedule strength to schedule. We gotta schedule super hard just to even come close to making the playoff. And these guys get to schedule cupcake guys, man. But anyway, I want to know what you guys think about that. Like, share, subscribe. USCJ32 on Instagram. USCJ32 on Twitter. The guys will be in the hotel this time next week. Listen, it's go time. It's on and popping. It's on and cracking. Continue to fight on, fight on, fight on.